Hi, further to my comments of the other day concerning the Aristocrat FL50 being this particular phone model by, I'll get the right name in a minute, so I'm a little bit mixed up today, so don't worry. Autophone Limited, I'll get it right in a minute. Anyhow, so the reason being I've just tried 3 battery packs in these phones and none of them lasted, so I'm hoping this one will let me come to the conclusion of my talk. It's only a short talk. Anyhow, the first one I got was this one here, you can see, the black version. The dial tended to stick. It's surprising what a little bit of oil will do. I use clock oil. Okay, there's a little controversy whether you should use clock oil or just normal 3-in-1 type oil. I will say that clock oil can be expensive, but I got this bottle, I'll show you. Got this bottle many years ago at one of the large clock fairs, which was very, very interesting, and I got this at a sensible price. So this is the one I use. It looks like I'm going to have to go to that clock meeting again soon because I'm getting low on oil. Anyhow, this was the one that I used, and just put it on the surfaces which are bearing surfaces, and also clean off any dirt that might accumulate. There's a few specks on this one, but having moved those 2 spring sets which are held on by that one screw makes it very easy, and that comes off with the other screw there which ties the cable or the wire down to it. So it's actually a very good idea and well made. Now that it's oiled and cleaned and left a couple of days, don't ask me why, but it cleared completely after a couple of days, and by operating the dial, whether you dialed a 1 or a 0, it always returned to its stop. There's one I've got here which you can see. Anyhow, this dial, we don't know who made them, at least I don't know who made it. A gentleman in America who has given a little write-up on this phone a few years ago did mention a name, but I couldn't make it out. I couldn't make out what he said. So there's the dial. Hopefully this camera's not going to run out of juice before the end, because I do like talking. Now where is it? Somewhere in there. There we are. Looks like it says 22. There's the symbol on there. So if anyone knows what that stands for, I would like to know. On the other dial, which has also got the same mark, when I can find it, that is. Oh, it's over here. It's under the date mark on this one. It's under there. It's the same mark. This states this was 5th month of 67, so it's a few years old. I think these phones probably came out in the 50, about the same time as the 700 series that were used in England. A lot of people think these are rather flimsy phones. Personally, I don't. The dial, now the dial was originated, as far as I know, by Siemens Halske. It was called a 180A dial. There's a picture of this online, and it looks identical. All right, I say identical. The innards was identical. The way of fixing it to the phone did vary, but it was the same type of dial. And I've come across these before, and they seem to be quite a good dial. I'd much prefer to work on one of these than the English trigger type dial, which we were given a demonstration of this on the phone last night, and he done a very good job actually. Made of plastic. Oh, plastic. Give me metal dials every day. But anyhow, I would say he did a damn good job, and he got the dial going by replacing one of the wheels which the teeth had worn down. But it was interesting. But this one, as you can see, it's entirely metal, no plastic anywhere, and they are strongly made. Anyhow, enough about the dial. The other reason I did get another phone today, the reason I ordered it, there was another one going, and I thought, right, well, if either of these got broken in the post, considering they're supposed to be very flimsy cases, I would get the other one just in case. Anyway, as I say, it's money in the bank. Price of phones are going up all the time. Some phones now I can't even touch, as the price is so much. Now, this was the one I got today, which is different colours, probably started off as ivory or white. Okay, the case has undergone some changes of colour, but that is all down to age, and it shouldn't be a fact against things. The only thing on this one that I did notice, I've got a hairline crack at the back. Yeah, it does go right through, and that's the only damage really to this case. And then you're not really going to notice it at the back. And I did know it was cracked when I bought it, so no excuses. I knew what I was getting. But what I didn't know what I was getting are these bits. Now, this is the phone I got. It looked very much like it had been modified, and all these pieces were inside. This part was put in the base like so. The components were soldered in there, and the little coil was just laid in the top. The wires in some cases had been cut, so it was obviously not working. So I thought, right, can I get rid of them? And that's what I did, got rid of them. It's interesting though, it looks like this item is obviously it's an earpiece, but it looks like it's probably one which is quite it gives out quite a bit of sound. I'm not 100% certain. It's got on there IBA 5 YA 5275, so if anyone knows that, there's the innards. You've got an air gap in there which is coupled down to the diaphragm, and there's the extra electronics which are put on there. So no idea what that was for, but I would think it was either a DC caller or it gave speech. If anyone knows this, give us a shout. I'd love to know. Anyhow, the other reason being to give this, a friend in America has one of these phones. I had it a few years and couldn't get it to work. Well, not working properly. Here, and they're both the same. That one and this one's both the same. There are your set of actual terminals and tell you where they go. I've written it down. Both these phones are in the same order, so I think they're right. Number 1 and 2 is white and blue, and they go to the transmitter. 3 and 4 go to green and red, which is the receiver. You've also got a strap between 4 and 5. The next set of wires are your line cord. Red, green, blue. That's the line cord. Number 9 is spare. Then you've got your connections to the dial. 10 goes to the yellow wire. Make sure it's the right one because the yellow and the white look all very similar, but it's definitely yellow on 10. 11, 2 wires go on there. The green wire and the brown wire. They terminate together on 11. On 12 goes the white wire, and that is the terminations of the dial. Now hopefully it should work if it's wired up. Obviously I haven't actually checked this, I'm just assuming it's going to work, but it looks like it has never been tampered with. Even the one which I took the little modification of. The only thing that had been altered was the ringer. I had to solder a wire back because they had used the 2 little lugs to hold this part down. This part was held on by the 2 lugs, so getting the little soldering iron out and replacing those restored that to normal. Also the bell had been, looked like it had been blanked out. They put tape round it, as you can see, bits of tape. Well, it's not tape on there, it's what was on there, has marked the bells a bit, but at least they're now working and now been adjusted so they give a nice ding. Anyway, yeah, there's, I'll show you on the connections in the dial. There's the dial connections. Which obviously go to the pulse springs and the dial off normals. And I honestly think that's all I can say about this phone. Once again, yep, I've no regrets for getting these. I understand they are fairly rare. Okay, it's the first time I've ever seen these for sale. They were put together using German bits, and their workshop was in Wandsworth, which is near Wimbledon. Obviously the factory has been long since gone, and this one obviously has survived. The handset, as stated, is very similar to the American type of handset. Both bits are exactly the same. So really, yep, that's all I've got to say. So if anyone's got any questions on this, I'll try and get back and answer. If the gentleman in America sees this, hopefully this will help. And also, can I ask him that he can either let me know what the name of that dial manufacturer is it's something Gesellschaft, but that's as I say, that is the standard name for German stuff. But there's the dial, but it was based on the Siemens Husky, which is a name going back many, many years in not just telephones, but pretty well everything electrical. I understand they even made or invented the electric elevator or lift. Another interest of mine, by the way, yet I don't go out and take pictures of them. Those days are well over. I just remember various old buildings which used to have lifts in them, and of course some of the relays which were used were very similar to the ones used in the post office. Anyhow, I'm going off at a tangent again. So there we are. So there's the actual part. Any help on that, please let us know. It's based on the 180A dial, which should hopefully cause interest and what's the word I want to find? It might just sort of bring memories of this. Anyway, I'm going to shut up now. So once again, thanks very much for looking. I'm just hoping these pictures are going to be fairly in focus. I'm learning all the time the best ways of doing this. A last shot of the foreign bits which were in the phone, and how to restore the phone to its normal state. Okay, it's had a couple of holes in the base. They were extra. But as I say, they don't show like the little hairline crack at the back. It's all down to age and patina. Also, let me show you the insides. The adjusters are in there, which you can adjust. Well, you can't adjust them. They're spring tensioned. See the spring there, and the little lever there which operates that knob that you can see on there. Anyhow, as I say, I'm going to shut up now. Put this on YouTube. Enjoy. Any comments, please make. And we'll see what happens. Thanks again. Thank you.